Howdy folks, Nathan Adler here with the Fast Lane Truck. That's right, these SUVs are on truck, and that's because they're both based on platforms, frames, that come from pickup trucks. Now, what we have for you is the 2015 Lincoln Navigator and the 2015 GMC Yukon XL. And we've already taken them to the Ike Gauntlet, and they did remarkably well, and they were very, very close. But today we're doing something special. 0 to 60 runs and a little bit of track time to see if displacement outpaces and kicks the butt of turbocharging. And that's coming up next. .2 liters of American goodness in a V8, and it sounds really good too. This one puts out 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. Now that is exactly the same amount of torque as the Lincoln Navigator, but this one does it at around 4,100 RPM. So it's a different type of setup when it comes to actually pulling things and when it comes to moving. But this has an 8-speed automatic transmission, sending power to the rear wheels, and it's 4-wheel drive, so you also get that. But on top of all that, 16 miles per gallon, so 1 mile per gallon less than the Navigator. But I should mention this is the XL model, so it is actually a larger, heavier version of what would be the normal Yukon. As such, it is a little bit heavier than the Navigator. 0 to 60 and drag racing in the 2015 GMC Yukon XL. I actually heard a funny rumor. It's never been confirmed to be true. But back in the days when they were starting to build the Yukons and the Suburbans and Tahoes and whatnot, and they were, had different lengths, supposedly Suburbans and the Yukon XL got better gas mileage in some cases because of their length, made them more aerodynamic. Now that's just what I've heard. I cannot confirm that. What I can confirm is I'm about to drag race Crazy Ivan. Andre. All right, let's see here. I'm going to try to get this G-Tech to... There we go. See if that works. Make sure there's no sport mode. I'm in auto for so let's see. 3, 2, 1, go. Now his turbo spooled up. He got a great jump on me. Good brakes. Let's see what it said. Saving file, saving da-da-da. Uh, 0 to 60, 183.2 feet. I have no idea what that means. 60 to 0, okay. It's not 0 to 60, there's... Okay, let me see if I... Oh, there we go, 8.2 seconds. You have to scroll through it. I found 8.2 seconds 0 to 60. Okay. You got a good jump and then you just kept on going.
That's nice.
Shall we do it again?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it again.
Swap lanes, okay?
Swap lanes, you got it.
Okay.
Yeah, two different remotes for two very different vehicles that do exactly the same thing. By the way, you may have noticed they're filthy. Normally we like to have our vehicles nice and clean for you, but we just brought them down from the Ike Gauntlet and then we had them on a dirt road. Sorry. But while their butts are towards you, I wanted to show you something kind of interesting. a little bit of utility. Now, with the GMC remote, you can open the back glass. Yeah. Now, you don't have that option on the Lincoln remote. So, you have to reach over here. There you go. To open it. It's nice to know that they both have it. At least they have these glass opening hatches, which is really, really convenient for dropping in groceries or taking a screaming child and throwing them in there. Now, I'm showing you both of those. By the way, they also do very different things with where they put the windshield wiper in the back. This one, part of this, but the GMC's is actually in here. It's actually part of the rest of the vehicle. So there's this empty area right here where it resides. It's kind of cool too. Very different ways of doing the same thing. Now, of course, the most important thing is how quickly will they open with the key fob? Both of them you have to press twice. On your marks, get set, go. All right. Okay, let's try it again. Ready? On your marks, get set, go. Andre, I'm doing something wrong. Let me unlock these. On your marks, get set, go.
Double click?
I did double click.
Okay.
All right. On your marks, get set, go. Now, I actually did them exactly at the same time. I think Ford won. Well, sorry, Lincoln. Let's try closing them. I have to click them faster. That was my problem. On your mark, get set, go. That warns you. One more race. We'll fast forward through all that other stuff, right, guys? Okay, here we go. One more time. Okay, on your marks, get set, go. Some of you guys say there's no significance behind this. There's no reason that we have to do this. Well, yeah, there's a couple. One, it's fun. I mean, it really, it's a good time. But, you know, knowing that you have power to go from a dead stop to merge into traffic on a freeway and whatnot, I think that's kind of important. Go! Got me again. Wow. Off the line, it takes a minute. Although I gotta tell you, I think my brakes are better than his. Because both times I have stopped so much quicker. Let's see what we got here. 7.76? Wow. Size is important when it comes to mirrors, and this is the one place where General Motors fell flat on their face. Look how small these mirrors are, and there is no option for a larger mirror with a vehicle that is built to tow. Ford has done it beautifully. It's a good sized mirror. It's a nice integration down here with the blinker. Altogether, it is a much easier package, and it feels like it covers more space than this tiny one. I know this is done for aerodynamics, but if you're going to tow, the only way you can do it efficiently and safely is by actually clipping on one of those larger mirrors you get aftermarket. And that's a luxury vehicle. I don't think that's cool. Okay, this last run, Andre and I are going to both do it in two-wheel drive. And I'm going to start flat. I'm just going to, right now it's at like 600 RPM idling. Okay, here we go, folks. Wait a minute. Wait a sec. One last check. Okay. G-Tech Pro is ready to go. 3, 2, 1, go. You know what? I'm staying with him, but he's still got the jump. And that thing just spools up so quickly compared to this. Brakes are good. Brakes are really good. 22-inch wheels, which is ridiculous, by the way. It does affect the ride too. And a lot of people who tow say, oh, 7.59. 7.59 0 to 60. At over a mile above sea level. Damn, that's good. And I'm less than a car length behind the Lincoln Navigator. I'm thinking that if the Navigator had a few hundred extra pounds, it was the L version, then this would be even a closer race because obviously more weight. Or if this was the Yukon, the regular one without the extra weight. Very close nonetheless. I still like the sound of this thing. These are two different vehicles that are doing two different things, but they're doing it in almost exactly the same way. It's extraordinary. Plus pricing. That is about $78,000 and that one's about $74,000. But keep in mind, this is the XL, so it would be cheaper if it didn't have more tush. If you watched our Ike Gauntlet test with these vehicles, I mentioned that they reminded me of old men, a little saggy. But from the rear, you can't mistake what they are. That is definitely a Lincoln. That is definitely a GMC. Or at least that's definitely a GM product. The thing is that both of these vehicles really are spin-offs of cheaper vehicles. This is a Ford Expedition, and this is a Suburban. That's really what they are. Now, in terms of overall styling, if you like Lincolns, I don't really think this looks like a Lincoln. I think it looks like a Ford that kind of looks like a Lincoln. I don't think this really looks like anything in particular other than a Suburban with nicer taillights. With that being said, even though they have features that are just like right there on the ledger, right next to each other, they still have completely different engines, different transmissions. They feel differently when you drive them. They have different suspensions. They're very different vehicles. Neither one I would ever be ashamed of driving, but I know I'm sounding a little anal about talking about this again and again, but it does irritate me a little bit, and some of you I bet as well. No door pockets that are able to hold drinks or bottles or cups. And it's the same with the backseat doors as well. And for those of you who go on long trips and for those of you who have children, that's an issue. Now let me show you the GMC and what GMC's doing differently than Ford and Lincoln. Ta-da! Open the door. Oh hey, look! Coffee cup can fit in there. Yes, and there's another spot there for a bottle. And allow me to show you this. Once again, places for cup holders right there and in the door. Kids love it. It's just one of those little things that is convenient for those who haul children or guests for that matter. And let's face it, if you're buying this, you're buying it to haul people. TFL trucks, buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it. I'd give both of these a lease it, and it's for two reasons. First reason, Suburban. Second reason, Expedition. I'd rather have the cheaper versions of these because they're so outrageously expensive, and you can get almost everything that these have in the cheaper versions, with the exception of the big engine. I will say this, they're both excellent vehicles, excellent to drive, delightful every day. That's much more of a car, that's much more of a truck, but they both make you feel a little special when you drive them. And at the end of the day, I guess that's part of the important piece, right? For the Fast Lane Truck, this is Nathan Adlin. I'll catch you next time. Away we go. Whoa. Yeah, this thing really takes off fast. It just keeps on going freight train style. Now, where the GMC was really savage with its brakes and it just hauled you down fast, once again, this was the Lincoln, very smooth. Doesn't feel as panic-inducing. However, I felt like from the seat of my pants that the GMC was really reeling me in, you know what I mean? It's much more car-like in terms of everything it does. If you're looking for a truck that really feels like a car that can still haul people and goods and tow, this might be your ride. Let's see what our 0 to 60 was. I guarantee it's going to be faster. Yep, 7.32. That's about what I expected. I was getting about 7.5 as an average once I figured out the GMC. So this is just a hair faster, and part of that has to do with the fact that we're over a mile above sea level. And because of that, having two turbochargers really helps. So we've established that both of them can be a little temperamental when it comes to double clicking the keys. On your marks, get set, go. Go. You know, this is one of those things where a child will be able to do this better than me. I don't know what it is. Maybe my hands emit some sort of weird electromagnetic signal that just screws everything up. Close. That's what I have to do. I have to point it like that. Like my dad used to do back in the 70s with the remote. Like he's stabbing the television. Okay. On your mark, get set, go.